And this is legacy, which is a really beautiful and important part of the whole thing. Because you're changing your legacy. By doing this, you're literally changing your legacy. There's lineage and legacy. Lineage is everything that's passed down to you through your family, through your genes, your DNA, however you want to call it. It comes to you, it's in that lineage. Legacy is what you choose to leave. Okay? And we all look at people's legacy and we say, oh, we remember Mother Teresa and Alexander the Great and, Donald Trump and la la la. We remember all of these people. And will they be remembered for the ages? Who knows? But what you create in the hearts and minds of people is much more important than the structures you build, unless the structures are something that actually build the hearts and minds of people. Okay? But legacy is your choice of what you leave, your conscious choice of what you leave on the planet after you. It's your vapor trail, really, and it's what resides after you're no longer here, and it's also what follows you around when you are here. Now we know it's like, they're saying don't post certain things on the internet because now when people are, interviewed for a job, they check everything on all the, social media sites and check on what you do. So now it's like we're more aware of the fact that whatever we do or say is public domain. But it's always been that way, only it's called Akashic Records, where everything that we say and do is stored in an etheric data bank. And your legacy is what people see and remember about you. And it may not be exactly the way you want it to be remembered, but the more that you build that which is of service to the greater whole, then the more that you will be remembered as that. Okay? So that's what this program is really about, is to give you the strength and the power and the connection to the source of you, that you can change your lineage into legacy, and that you can leave something far greater than what you were ever given. Okay? I'm going to read several things to you on this, but one is something that I wrote, years and years ago, about the consciousness of women and how important it is that women really are the holders of society. You look at every society when it's decimated by war, who puts things back together is the women, because the men are so devastated by war and what they've seen and what they've been through, they can't. And it's the women who rebuild societies. Women rebuilt Europe. Women are rebuilding Rwanda. And, they will rebuild every society because that's who we are. And what do we need to rebuild ourselves? We need a respect and an honoring. And we need to respect and honor ourselves so that we can act in a way that attracts respect and honor, and that we can teach our children to respect and honor women and men. That those are really important and integral parts of all relationships. You can't have lasting and great relationships that don't have those at the core of them. Okay. So this is on honoring women. What's in it for me? Everything is the answer. Why should we pay attention to our women? Why should we honor their rhythms and cycles? Because they are our seers. They are our souls. They are the bringers of life. Not only this gorgeous thing called the body, but the life of ideas. They are the holders of the seed. When women don't get nourished, they become terrible. They become fiercer than Genghis Khan. They become Kali, looking for blood, your blood. If they aren't given time to create in grace, they become hard like coal, and they will burn you with their fire. If their song isn't heard, they become hoarse and listless, and their whispers paralyze your very being. When women are looked at kindly, spoken to with reverence, acted towards with respect, touched with dignity, we all experience the greatest delights. We will have honor because we have honored that from which we have come. We will experience peace because our intuition will be alive. We will experience hope because the prayer, her prayer, will be heard once again. We will experience compassion because her depth has been awakened. We will experience courage because her fear will bow to her trust. We can dig ourselves out of this grave of fear through honor. We can dig ourselves out of this grave through reverence. We can dig ourselves out of this grave through respect. She is a woman. She is your woman. She is your mother, your daughter, your lover, your sister, your friend, yourself. See her in the face of every woman. Encourage her to know what she really knows. Turn off your radios and TVs and computers and make friends with her silence. To hear her deepest voice and delight in its magnitude. To share her wisdom without fear. When you hear these voices, you will see the glint of eternity in her eyes. Then you will know hope. Until then, we are emaciated beings awaiting emancipation. So, us honoring ourselves, us knowing that it's up to us to change the legacy of this planet, and that we have this chance right now. Things may look really dark to people, but this is such an amazing transformational time on the planet, and it's so much more about supporting each other. It's so much more about all these priceless tools that have been secret for all these long periods of time coming forth and being given graciously and massively so that you can have a greater legacy, so that you can be more powerful, so that you can share things with people that haven't been shared for centuries and millenniums, so that we can become those human beings who are meant to be. And you are the starting place. You as women, you as human beings, you as these vast beings with a great legacy, and teaching our children how to honor and respect not only your children, but all children. Give them the experience of honor and respect, of saying please and thank you, of leaving a legacy of not just demanding, but allowing and accepting. Okay, so I want you to write down what the legacy. This is a very, very powerful technique, and it's going to seem a little bit crazy, but I want you to go with it. What would you like to be written on your tombstone? And if you're going to be cremated, I don't care. You're not getting out of this. Okay? You still got to write on it. What do you want written on your urn, on your tombstone? What do you want written there? And write it down right now. Write down what you want written there. How do you want to be remembered? Well, that's what the tombstone is. It's that final in memory. What do you want to be remembered as? Write it down. This is a very important thing to write down, because if you live your life backwards from this place, I promise you, you will live it very differently, because now you have how you want to be remembered. Then you have to create a pathway to create that. And I will tell you from having a very dear friend die this summer, who wasn't at peace with what her footprint was, wasn't at peace with what she had left. Very, very important to know what that footprint is that you want to leave and what that is that you want to do. Okay, so this is another thing. Write your tombstone right now, what you want left on that. I'll tell you what my teacher did. About 10 years before he died, he built this tombstone right at the gate of his property. And what it said on it was, born at 0. 0 is that shunya, that never ending. Died at 1. born at 0, died at 1. At 1. Okay. So I want you to write yours down. And then I want you to do something else. And you're not going to do this right now, but I want you to write yourself a note so that you will do it. I want you to write your own obituary. Okay? I don't care if you're 10 or you're 20 or you're 100. Write your own obituary right now so that you know what you want to be said. And you know what you have to live up to or into. Your legacy is very precious, it's very powerful, and you're in charge of it. It's not something that just happens. And you leave the legacy of service behind you. Whatever you do, if you do it with that love of that this will serve humankind in some big or some small way. Sometimes we think, oh, this is really grandiose, it turns out to be really small. Sometimes it's just a tiny little way, that one good deed, do that, pay it forward. One little thing can turn into just something huge. You have no idea. But serving, it's incredible. I taught this class at this high school, a yoga class, for 11 years, and when I would come in, they would clap for me. Not for me, but because I came in and we dealt with totally different things than anybody else did. It wasn't just a yoga class. I would talk to them about overwhelm and jealousy and pain and hurt and anger, and I would talk to them about these things, and I would listen to them, and we would do exercises to work with those things. I would get them to touch each other. Yes, they had to touch hands. And, I remember one time this kid put her socks on her hands so she wouldn't have to touch somebody else's hands, and I was like, oh no, you don't. You have to have contact with all of those 72,000 nerve endings with that other being, So just know that you never have any idea. I still run into people who go, oh my God. I ran into this person that I taught when my daughter was in this school till she was 8 years old, called the Little Red Schoolhouse, and it was an amazing school. And it was in Toronto. I'm in LA. I go into this health food store, and this big guy comes up to me and goes, oh my God, Gurutej. And I'm like, yes. Sometimes people say that. I'm like, yes, I know my name. And he said, you don't remember me, but I'm Adam. And you used to come and teach yoga at our school. And I can't tell you how that affected me. Now, I remember Adam because Adam was a really big kid, way bigger than the other kids. But he could meditate. When I would teach him a meditation, this kid could meditate. Well, he's been all over the world. He's learned sitar from Ravi Shankar. He's done films in India. He said, you so affected me in ways you'll never know, but you got me to do all these things. And then he told me things he'd done. I was like, oh my God. So we never know. I got to hear that, but we just don't even know. We don't know how one little smile can affect things. I had somebody Facebook me the other day and say, I just want you to know we've never met, as far as you know, but that you've affected me so much. I bought one of your DVDs, and then I saw you in Santa Monica, and you smiled at me, and you were so radiant, and you just really made me feel alive. And every time that I saw you around town, you smiled, and you were just so radiant. And I thought, God, we never have any idea how often people see us, and they get one little snapshot of us, and that's what they carry around in their heads. And if you're grumpy and you're funky, that's the snapshot they have of who you are, because that's the vision they got of you that moment. If you're radiant, that's the vision that they have. So just remember that being radiant, doing what you need to do to maintain your radiance, and I will tell you, magnetic field before you go out in the morning. If you don't have my Chakra Yoga DVD, you need it, because it will give you all sorts of exercises that you can do for radiance. Or you can go to my website and get the Energy Guru things. There's all sorts of wonderful things you can do for radiance, to get really radiant before you go out in the morning. And then clear yourself when you come home at night so that you're legacy isn't just in the world, it's also with your family. And it's not just with your family, but it's also in the world. It's the small and the big. The I am. I am. I am. I am. I am me. I am thee. I am the essence of all of this. Okay? I'm going to read you another couple of things. You've got your assignments in your book of things you need to write down for this. This is about the legacy that I see for men in the next era. The Piscean concept of men was they didn't have a clue who they were, and they just used everything. And now men are really coming into the power of who they are and what it means in that power to be the protector and still be able to have that connection to their feminine side, which is that capacity to connect. So protect and connect. That's what this poem is about. The new sexy. Give me the new sexy, an aware being, meditative, a conscious man, a man who devours the ins and outs of an environment we are visiting, one who steps in and up to doing, a man who understands the inner environments of a woman, refusing to be intimidated by her juiciness, a man who stands under the underpinnings of our world, willing to rock continents, to uplift, to give hope. This is a man we women will bow with. This is a man who can hold us, heart and soul. This is a man of substance, grace. This is a truly sexy man. It's not just the women who are evolving now. It's men. And we want to honor that legacy as well and that change. So I want you to know that service and your legacy are inextricably bound together. Just as your two hemispheres when they come together. This is called prayer pose for a reason. Because you're bringing your left, your feminine, you're allowing your receptive, your intuitive, merging with your white, your right, which is your projective, your sun, your capacity to do, right? Sympathetic, parasympathetic, and sympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic is your feminine. The sympathetic is your masculine. The masculine allows you to go out and do, make happen, create it, see it, build it, strengthen it. And the feminine allows you to get together. So when you bring these together at your heart, you're bringing both of those energies together and you're creating the legacy of merger. It's not this fighting this. It's not this. Although this is a very powerful mudra as well. And there's times to do this, right? But this, fighting each other, feeling that, friction of we were abused and downtrodden and all this kind of stuff. Okay, we're not now. Right now, in this moment, you get to acknowledge that your lineage served you up to this point. And from this point on, your legacy is what you want to use to serve it with, to serve the planet, to serve yourself, to serve your family and each other. So you have to write down your tombstone. That will be your mission statement for when you're gone, right? You've got your mission statement for now. Your mission statement for when you're gone is your tombstone. And in your ebook, your Do You Want Your Skinny Back, you're going to find that you have questions. And I ask that when you answer this last page of questions, you send them to me. And I really would like you to do that. That you write them down and you send them to me. Because, as we know from the beginning, we need commitment, but I also really want to know what it is that you want to leave the world. What it is you want to leave as your vapor trail behind you. What it is that you want to be remembered as and for. And I bless you. I Thank you. I look so forward to hearing from you and to know that you are your legacy. You were your lineage. And look at who you can include and who you can inspire to live to their legacy. Because the more of us that actually see beyond the seen into the unseen, we get to say, Waheguru. Okay? That's what I want to leave you with. Just for a few minutes in that ecstasy, bring your hands together and we're just going to chant really powerfully, Waheguru. Okay? To create that ecstasy as our luggage. Leave your luggage, create your legacy, and chant Waheguru. 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 And inhale deeply. Inhale more. Inhale more. Feel the greatness and the grasp and the graciousness of this breath. And exhale and bow. Bow to yourself. Bow to all of us who know that we can create a greater lineage and legacy.